First, let me reassure people that whenever someone British is taken hostage anywhere in the world, the whole of the government comes together, and I personally make sure this happens, to hear from the agencies, the police, our security and intelligence agencies and everybody else, to examine all the options about what can be done, and also to make sure we do everything we can to look after their families. It is an absolutely dreadful situation when this occurs, and I want people to know that we do everything we possibly can. I'm obviously limited in what I can say about an individual case for reasons I'm sure that you understand, but I'm sure everyone watching this programme, their prayers and sympathy will be with the family of this British man. I know it is difficult to hear, and I've thought about this very carefully, but I'm absolutely convinced that the policy of not paying ransoms to terrorists for kidnaps is right, and I'm in no doubt that those countries that have allowed ransoms to be paid, that has ended up with terrorist groups, including this terrorist group, having tens of millions of dollars that they can spend on kidnapping other hostages, on preparing terrorist plots, including against us here in the United Kingdom, and in buying arms and weapons to wreak havoc. So I'm absolutely certain it is the right policy. But I would agree with what lies behind your question, which is that if we have that policy, and we should try to ensure others have that policy, and I got world leaders to sign up to that at the G8 summit in Northern Ireland. If we have that policy, we should also make sure we do everything we can to help British people when they're taken hostage. Since becoming Prime Minister, I have ordered a number of hostage rescues in different parts of the world, and as I think people know, there was a hostage rescue attempt in this case as well, sadly not successful. So it is a desperately difficult situation. We shouldn't pay ransoms to terrorists. We shouldn't let terrorists change our policy or our approach to this appalling problem of ISIS in Iraq and Syria. We need to show real resolve and determination. We need to use every power and everything we have in our armoury with our allies, with those on the ground, to make sure we absolutely do all we can to squeeze this dreadful organisation out of existence. I'm certainly not ruling anything out, and I will always act in the British national interest. What I would say, though, is this. I think it's very important that Western intervention isn't over the heads of those locally trying to fight this organisation, and isn't done against the wishes and against the work of regional neighbours and partners. I think that sometimes is the mistake that's been made in the past. So the first thing we should do, and we're doing this already, is to help those on the ground that are fighting this organisation. Britain has been helping to get arms to the Kurds, and we're prepared to do more, and we're considering actively whether to give them arms ourselves, and also whether we can do more directly to train Kurdish militia. We're already playing a role there, but we can do more. Above all, what we need is a functioning, stable and inclusive Iraqi government. This problem is at the heart of Iraq, and the first thing that's required is an Iraqi government that represents all the people of Iraq. Indeed, one of the reasons this issue has come about is because we didn't have an Iraqi government of that nature.